a number of the 1,500 plus that we'd have to lay off in the future. But anyone who's concerned about that should be picking up the phone and calling Senator Kathleen Vinehall and any of the other 14 state senators who are missing from their job.
Well, you said you're punishing them because you're trying to get something from somebody else.
We're not punishing them at all. We said almost 4 weeks ago that this is not some last-minute negotiation skill. Nearly 4 weeks ago this week, I announced the budget repair bill and said this budget repair bill will provide $30 million worth of savings effective the first week of April for pension and health care contributions. I said then, it wasn't a threat, it was just a statement of fact, that if we failed to do that, the equivalent amount of savings would be equal to 1,500 layoffs of state workers, and even more in the future if we don't get this. We are not threatening anything, we're following through with what the facts are. And the facts are, if we don't have that $30 million savings through the end of this fiscal year, there's no other option for us to act on it. So what we're doing now is following through on that. Again, my hope is, because that's doesn't take effect until the first week of April, is between now and then, obviously sooner rather than later is better, that Senator Vinehall and the other senators who are missing in the state of Illinois would come home and do their job.
Good time for
Governor?
more questions.
Governor, you've been campaigning on Brown Bay before you were elected. Drive your Saturn. Now you're flying around the state doing all these speeches. You could do it in Madison. You can come in the door, you can come on your website, calling you out on that. What would you say justifies this place around the state?
People want to see their elected representatives. Me hanging out in the Capitol is not the place to be. Me coming around the state, talking to people, taking questions from you here instead of a handful of national reporters in our state's capital is a much better option. I think people want to hear directly. They want me to be responsive to the public. And I'm here because their state senator is not. If their state senator was here doing their job, he or she could respond to these questions, could make their case for and against the bill. But since they're not here, people like Kathleen Vinehall are not here in their district in the state of Wisconsin, I need to travel the state to talk about what's going on. I need to take the tough questions. I need to answer what's on people's mind, but I need to be here. In the end, we're doing what every governor before me has done and what governors all across the country do, and that is when there's tough issues out there, you got one or two choices. You can either hide out in the Capitol, or you can go out around the state and make your case be heard and take the tough questions and answer them, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Got time for one more
Well,
question.
are you worried about that you might be losing support of any of the Republican state senators on this?
No, absolutely not. They understand, and they understood before, but even now more clearly since the budget came out, that this was not a block, that like governors all across this country, Republican and Democrat alike. Remember, New York State and California, where two of our biggest states, where both states are governed by Democrats, they're cutting in each of those states billions and billions of dollars of aid to schools and local governments, as well as their university system. The difference here in Wisconsin, and why I think these state senators, at least the Republicans, will stand with us moving forward, they understand that if we don't make the changes we're proposing, the choices we will face as a state will be what the other states are facing, which is massive layoffs or massive property tax increases, neither of which I think is acceptable. I think as much as there's some political pressure in the Capitol, overwhelmingly people believe that what we're proposing is a much better alternative.
Have you seen Senator Miller's letter that he addressed to you today?
I just literally heard about it as I landed. Again, a typical example of how Senator Miller doesn't negotiate in good faith. He sends things through the media, and I think that's reflective of the fact that he changes from one day to the next. Yesterday we heard something different. Today we see something completely different than that. I think the public has seen now, between what happened Sunday night with the Wall Street Journal, we made a public statement about coming back, and then Monday when he flipped again, he's seen what the public is now seeing. What he's doing to them is the same thing he's been doing to Republicans for the past couple of weeks.
Have you talked to anybody from Hutchinson Technology?
Is that true? In that letter, he basically said the lines of communication are closed. Is that true?
Well, if that's his statement, it's coming from him, because we continue to reach out to some of the reasonable state senators in that caucus. If Mark Miller thinks they're closed, they're only closed with him. We're willing to talk to others. We've been willing to discuss this all along. We just haven't been negotiating it through press conferences and the media. We've been actually sending our people down to talk with those reasonable senators. And again, I think it's unfortunate that Senator Miller has been the one standing in the way, and I think you see it again today.
Thank you.
But you talked to anybody from Hutchinson Technology?